Funny job, that. The coroners.
How so?
You don't want them enjoying their work too much. The wrong kind of man can get awfully lonely rattling around a joint full of corpses.
Rusty, that's like something out of the pulps.
You've been reading the same ones as me?
I thought you were usually too drunk to get through a magazine.
If I close one eye and squint, you can just about make out the print.
Hello fellow history gamers, welcome back to another episode of HBTG, History Behind the Games. So today we're going to look at Rockstar's LA Noire, a game set in 1947 Los Angeles, a time before freeways, and when the city was still relatively cheap to live in. We follow the story of Cole Phelps. The game is a detective story, and focuses mainly on your ability to read people and question them, rather than post-pounding action. Well, maybe a little action.
PD, drop your weapons!
I happen to like the game very much, and so let's go ahead and fill in some of the background.
You ever tie up any of your victims, Eli?
It's not a nice thing to go calling them.
What would you call them?
I can't say. I learned a long time ago not to go talking about the things I like. Talking about it just seems to get people's dander up.
Answer the goddamn question, Rooney, before I brain you.
See what I mean? Short answer is yes.
You have any...
Now before we discuss some of the historical events, let's talk about the game design itself. The term noir usually relates to the film era directly after World War II, basically the late 1940s and early 50s. It is characterized by darker tones and subjects than previous American films due to the influence and horrors of World War II. Basically, the good guy doesn't always win in these movies. I elected to play the game in black and white just to give it that film noir look. Don't like it? Fine, here's some color. But even if you play with color, the colors are very distinct, like old Technicolor movies, making it still look like a film from that era.
No sign of a wedding ring.
Los Angeles has many landmarks, and the game does a very good job of showing them off. You got the 4th Street Bridge everyone and their mother likes taking pictures off of, Union Station, and the world's smallest railway, Angel's Flight, just to name a few. Obviously, some things have changed since 1947, especially around the La Brea Tar Pits area now, because there's a big fence there to keep dumb people from falling in and suing the city. Being 1947, the city was actually less developed, and had more residential houses and more trees for that matter. The city today was less green than it was, sadly. Rather than display all of Los Angeles, the developers chose to focus mainly on the downtown area and Hollywood.
A shining, honest face the public can admire. I applaud a man with your talent for unwavering justice. Back to your duties for now, boyo. But here's a piece of advice. Get yourself 2 suits, get them pressed. You'll be needing them.
Alright, so back in the 1940s and 50s, Los Angeles purported themselves to have the best police force in the world, with the best officers and detectives. While this is questionable, the game does provide some good detective work. Many times the player often comes inside a home to look for clues, and if you ever notice this small detail and ask yourself, why the hell doesn't Cole open any drawers or closets too? It's because Phelps often does not have a warrant when he's allowed inside the home, which means he can only use what's laid out in front of him. Finding solid evidence, working with forensics, and using information to convince criminals to just admit it already are all techniques still used on the force today.
You want my partner to sap you? Tell us what we want to know.
Well, hopefully not all the techniques.
You fuck young boys, Valdez.
Are you a madman? This will cause an international incident.
Danny, Ben, Miguel, Tristan, and Teddy. Full lips. Ring any bells?
I'm sure we can come to some arrangement.
Gabriel, spill it.
How about a scoop for the Examiner, Galloway? You could use some good press.
Another tramp, another message. Is the werewolf back in business, boys?
Do you have a mother?
Alright, so being a detective game and all, there's going to be a lot of crime to solve in the game. Los Angeles has had a long criminal history, but LA Noire depicts some of its most famous cases and criminals. In fact, most of the main mission crimes and some of the street crimes are based off real events, although some of the info has been changed to go with the story. For instance, many of the crimes on the homicide desk were real, including the Black Dahlia case, the nickname given to the actress Elizabeth Short after her body was found cut in half in a vacant lot. But one major difference was that in the game, the crimes were solved. One dude even fakes his death to try to leave his wife because divorce in those days was very difficult if your spouse wasn't crazy, abusive, or dead. One prominent LA criminal featured in the game is Meyer Harris Mickey Cohen, and is also one of the most famous crime bosses of Los Angeles. Coming here at around age 6 from New York and growing up in the then mostly Jewish neighborhood of Boyle Heights, he eventually moved around the country developing his criminal achievements before coming back in 1939. Among other things, he helped Bugsy Siegel build Las Vegas and ended up in jail for tax evasion.
I'll offer you 50 grand. Hey, hey, you don't like my offer? The Sheldon kid? I think I want him dead.
Do you have a description?
Tall, gaunt, horribly disfigured. I think he may have had an accident in the war. He's a very scary, angry man.
Any idea where we might find him?
One of the hobo camps around here. He's some kind of hobo leader. They all follow him around.
Last item I wanted to note in the game is a short part of a mission where Cole Phelps and his partner must go into a homeless camp to detain a suspect. Many homeless in the camp and the person of interest are veterans of World War II. Although the GI Bill of 1944 did help many vets after the war, there weren't many efficient establishments for returning soldiers to help them with their issues like PTSD and reintegration. Especially for the frontline combat troops who didn't have any specialized training skills and other than killing, some vets became homeless. Just wanted to mention that subject since it's rarely talked about in schools. Just read items like Bill Mauldin's Willie and Joe Back Home to get an idea.
For murder, Ackerman. We're taking you downtown.
You can't do anything more to me than what the Japanese have already done.
Well, that's our show. Thank you for watching, and if you liked the video, click that like button and subscribe. Leave any questions, comments, or game recommendations below, and remember, never stop learning. This is HBTG, I'm the Lone Pine Wolfman, Eric, and I'll see you guys next time.